What's up, guys? I just put on a trade in crypto that I want to talk about. I've gradually put this on over the last few days. Crypto undoubtedly in a bear market, but in that long-term, broader bear market, I actually see strength in the short term, and I think it's a good opportunity to make 20, 30, maybe even 40% on your money in the short term. So I'm going to touch on Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI, Solana, Avalanche, XRP, and World Liberty Financial, which is the cryptocurrency that the Trump sons are involved in. So again, right now we are in undoubtedly a bear market in crypto. However, in the short term, there is a bear flag forming, which is a short-term bull market. So let's get into the charts. I'm going to show you what they look like, and then share a little bit about the trades that I did just put on. Here's Bitcoin. So no doubt Bitcoin is once again in a bear market. Here is your downtrend. Here's the top of the bull bear market where the pivot happened. Here is your trend line that we touched back in January, mid-January, and then that's when the sell-off really started. I guess it's the second big sell-off in this bear market. So, but what happened back earlier in the year? I guess it started in November. If you see right here, this was an opportunity. Right here. See, here's the broader downtrend, bear market. But right here, this is what you call a bear flag and a micro bull market that happened between November 25th. It reached its top on January 14th. So from the bottom here of 80,000, it went all the way up to 97,000. You know, that's almost a 25% gain right there if you bought here and sold at the top. So that would have been kind of hard to nail the top. However, now we have this trend line. And what happened back then? So back then, you see this is a red candlestick, but big wick at the bottom. This is a potential reversal. When you get this huge wick at the bottom, could be a potential reversal. And what happened? We had another one here, and this was a higher low than this one. So here, it happened back here. However, it didn't confirm because I guess it did. We did get a little bit of a this is a little mini bear flag as well. But bottom line, if you see what started to happen here, we started making higher lows, and eventually, you know, we went all the way up to that 25%. So that's what happened earlier this year. You see this bear flag. It goes up and eventually goes back down. Same thing is happening right now, almost to a T. Hopefully, that's what I see at least. So right here, you have this long wick at the bottom. This is a green candlestick, very strong after this big sell-off. And what happened? Higher low, and it looks like we are going up. So what I see happening here in Bitcoin is we went all the way down to 60,000. Right now, we are at 67,000. I think we're going to hit this blue trend line that we hit last bear flag that started at the top when this downtrend started, which is going to be probably around this area. So, you know, I mean, it happened relatively fast. Let's see, this happened November 25th. So like a month and a half. Yeah. I mean, I think it's very possible that it happens in the next month, but I think either way, let's say 80,000, probably 80,000 if I had to guess. It depends how fast this rises, but I do think we will tag this trend line. We are going to go up before heading lower. Best case scenario, we could retest this 86,000 to, really best case is this red line at 93,000, where it can get back in here. Again, my long-term outlook on Bitcoin is that we're going much lower, but in the short term, I think this is a bear flag that's forming that's going to result in, from where it's at right now, probably 80,000. So you're looking at, maybe 15 to 25% in Bitcoin. And I think some of these other coins, you're actually going to see even more upside, which makes sense. They have smaller market caps, and they move to the downside with more volatility, and they also move to the upside at times with more volatility. So that's what Bitcoin looks like to me. I think that, let's see actually if we can zoom in a little bit. Oh, too much. Let's see if we can see if there's it's pretty early in this bear flag, so I don't want to, just kind of guess there. Again, worst case scenario, maybe 80,000. I don't think this is going to be, I think it's going to look more like this did. But either way, I think we're going up, and until you see it hit this trend line, I think we're going to slowly make our way up. I wouldn't worry about, or I'm not going to worry about it going down until it hits this trend line. So that's Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum, and they're all going to look pretty similar. Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, what happened? You have this huge sell-off that happened. We broke this support area, and we really just really dropped like a stone. But similar to Bitcoin, we got this fat green candlestick with that wick at the bottom here, which signaled a reversal in the short term. And what happened? We got a higher low than here, and we have a higher low than here. So we're starting to build some support here. And Ethereum, let's see if there's some trend lines we could look at on Ethereum. And there is, I could already see. Start here. Go here. I think Ethereum, that's the trend line you can look at if you want to use a place, estimated place to take profits. I think we'll see when it hits this, maybe 2,600. So 2,600 currently at, that's about 35% upside probably in Ethereum that I see. Let's look at Solana. Solana, again, they're all doing the same thing, but some of these altcoins are just going to have more torque when they're going up. So Solana, again, here's that fat reversal candlestick. Here's the confirmation that we're starting to make higher lows. Solana, and here is the downtrend for the current bear market in Solana. We're looking at Solana could see probably in this area here. So maybe we hit 1 point. Solana. Whoops. Let's draw a little bit of a trend line here. Horizontal line. This is going to be where resistance starts for Solana. It might hit this, probably 130, 136 for Solana. Worst case scenario. I mean, that's about a 40% upside in the short term for Solana. So I did buy Solana. And again, I tweeted out what positions I took, but, and I'll show you, I'll read these at the end of this video. But, so Solana, shoot, I take that back. That was SUI. That was SUI. So SUI's at 0.96. I think you could see it retrace back to 1.3. So yeah, about 40% in SUI, not Solana, my mistake. Here's Solana. Solana looks like it might have some similar upside, though. Here is the trend line I already have drawn for Solana. Solana, it's so funny. They all have that same exact candlestick. I mean, I guess it's all crypto, so it makes a little bit of sense. They somewhat trade together, but they're all doing the same thing. Here's the bullish pivot reversal candlestick. Here's the confirmation, a higher low. Here's another confirmation, higher low, and we're going up now. So let's see if I can, whoops. I mean, we'll see. Again, we'll see how it plays out. It's not always going to be exact, but Solana, I think you're going to run into this trend line. I mean, and I think, maybe we hit, I mean, the really best case scenario is, some people could see it going back to 120. I'm not that optimistic. I think you could see it, though, retrace to 107, which, again, that's about a 25%. That's I think worst case scenario, you're going to see 25% run here in Solana. Best case scenario, it goes back. I mean, even if it breaks this trend line, which it could, it still is going to run into some pretty significant resistance in this area, and then it could roll back over at that point. Which, again, I think all these cryptocurrencies are going to go down long term, but I'm going to try to catch a bid here, catch this bear flag that's playing out here on all these coins. So here's Avalanche. Let's see what we got here. Man, Avalanche, you could argue, has been in a downtrend for a long time. So there's a trend line that I have drawn out. I think, again, let's go through these. We have the same candlestick you see on the other ones, higher low, and we're going up. I don't think this one's acted a little bit differently than the others. So let's try to grab, I don't know if I could go. Yeah, this one's a little tougher to find what the trend is. I mean, it's definitely down long term, but it's going to move with the rest as they go up. Again, this is just my opinion and what I'm predicting. But I mean, let's say you just go back to this 11. This is the next resistance. So let's say you go back to this 1164 range. So again, with Avalanche, that's a 35% run to the upside on Avalanche in the short term. XRP, this one's got a pretty good, let's see here, a pretty good trend line to connect here on XRP. Look at that. I mean, it's so crazy how this works out. But like the others, again, you see the trend, you see the pattern. Here is the reversal candlestick. Here's the confirmation. We got a higher low, and we're going on up. I think you could see this go back to 180 in the short term. So that's XRP. World Liberty Financial. This is more, I mean, this is kind of a speculative play. You know, I don't have a lot of money in this thing. I did throw a small percentage on this just to see what happens. You know, it's obviously related to the Trump. The Trump sons are very involved in this. You know, this is what you might call. This one looks a little bit different. I mean, it based out around here and then is moving on up. You know, this is one. It's kind of a crapshoot. You know, maybe we could connect these here. If this wasn't related, if the Trump family wasn't involved in this, I wouldn't be touching it. But figured I'd just throw a speculative bet on it. And I think, I mean, it looks pretty. That is a pretty good trend line, actually. And actually, let's see here. Almost, yeah. I mean, you could almost connect it. Whatever. We're looking at. I mean, yeah. I mean, this thing could go back to 15 cents, maybe. Well, maybe actually, probably best case scenario, I'd say 14 cents. Which, once again, that's about 25 to 30% upside. So, that's what I am seeing in crypto. So, I just to clarify, this is. Let's pull up my X to just show you guys. No, unfortunately, I'm not logged in. So let's see here. Let's see if I could do this a different way. I'll just log in, I guess. I don't remember my password. Damn, I thought I forgot my password for a second. I haven't had to log back into Twitter in a while. So, again, I just want to show you guys what my plays are here. Here it is. Okay. So again, I posted this on Twitter on February 22nd, which was, I believe that was yesterday. Yeah, so yesterday, this is exactly how I am playing it. 30 to 40%. I think that is probably reasonable. 40% would be absolute best case scenario. I don't see that happening on Bitcoin, but some of the altcoins I could see that happening on. Most likely, probably 25% is where I'm going to start scaling out. You know, it depends where that trend line comes into play. So, but I did buy some Ethereum. I bought Solana. I bought SUI. I bought XRP. I bought Avalanche. And I bought a little bit of World Liberty Financial. These are the average cost per coin that I have. And then I am also playing Ethereum through the ETH ETF and Bitcoin through the IBIT ETF. So for those that don't know, those ETFs are just give you direct exposure to ETH gives you direct exposure to Ethereum, and IBIT gives you direct exposure to Bitcoin. So on these, I don't see Ethereum and Bitcoin moving as much as these alternative altcoins are. Ethereum maybe, but I don't see Bitcoin moving as much as the others. So to get some more leverage, I decided just to buy the call options for IBIT. I bought them at $42.05, expiring 4/2/26, and Ethereum at $16, expiring 4/2/26. So, right now they are, right now they are, they're at, ETH's at $14.89, and IBIT's at $38.42. So, how I play options, by the way, I'll do a longer video on my option strategy, but I don't put the ultimate price target. These are, by the way, shorter term options that I usually buy. I usually buy them 4 to 6 months out, the expiration date. But I see this opportunity in crypto, so I decided to buy a shorter term options in this specific scenario. How I set the price target. So right now it's at $14.89, and IBIT's at $38.42. So whatever the price target I have on these is, so my price target is going to be about, on IBIT, it could be 48. Worst case scenario, probably 45. So you don't want your ultimate price target to be where you put the strike price. So I will put the strike usually, whatever my price target, usually whatever it is, 10 to 20%, depending upon what time frame I'm looking at, 10 to 20% of what the current price is, and significantly, relatively significantly, outside of, below what I think the ultimate price target is going to be, because you want it to go past the strike price, and to capitalize, to increase the value of the options contract. So I'm digressing a little bit. I can do a longer video on what my option strategy is, but that's what I got for crypto. Here again are my plays. I will update everybody as this plays out, and I will see you again soon. So appreciate you listening, and once again, I'll see you soon. Take care.